I would say that the temple, as far as a physical manifestation, embodies the most important tenets of the gospel.
It's a house of the Lord. It's where we make commitments and covenants and promises to the Lord that can't be made anywhere else. So, hugely important.
I know the architecture as well is very dynamic and very, very beautiful, but can be very different from temple to temple.
There's a large garden area that goes down the front of the temple with a fountain, kind of a river-like fountain. And then there's a terrace area up on top of the temple that you can actually go walk around. There's gardens up there as well.
This is one of the most beautiful temples, I think, in the church. It's one of the larger temples. Most of the temples now are small, a lot smaller. And it's over 50 years old now.
If I remember right, if you're not a member, you cannot go into temples typically.
People can enter the temple if they've been a member for at least 1 year, and they can get a limited use recommend if they are at least 12. And you would do that when you are either going on a mission or getting married, or you've just decided that that's a step that you're ready to take in your own life, that you want those blessings to be able to move forward.
In order to enter the temple, one certainly doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect, but one has to be living according to certain laws.
If you want to go into the temple and you're ready to make that step, then again, you have to have been a member for at least 1 year. And then you would go and you would talk with your bishop and you would let him know, I would like to go to the temple. And he would have some interviews with you and make sure that you understand what you are entering into. And he'll just ask them some basic questions to make sure that they are living worthily, so that when they go and they have that experience, you feel like you're living a higher law, that you're living a more celestial, heavenly type life, so that you feel happy and comfortable when you are there and entering into the temple and making those promises with God.
Anyone willing to make the commitment can go inside the temple and see what's inside. So if you are willing to make a commitment, the Lord would welcome you. I think we would all welcome you. Everyone is welcome.
Once one enters the temple, we perform ordinances and enter into covenants at the temple for ourselves, but also for our dead.
An ordinance is a sacred act that we believe that we need to perform while we're here on this earth, on this life, so that we can return back to our Heavenly Father when we die. Covenant is a two-way promise that we make with our Heavenly Father.
We believe that if someone didn't learn about the gospel of Jesus Christ in this life, that they'll be given an opportunity to learn about it in the next life. And if they choose to accept it there, then they have to have some way of receiving the ordinances.
So those ordinances and covenants include things like baptism. And probably the culminating, the ultimate ordinance that's performed in the temple is the ordinance of eternal marriage, the sealing ordinance, which is what binds families together through this life and through the life to come.
So I can tell you that we do make promises with Heavenly Father, and there's nothing weird about them.
I have been exposed to other people that feel suspicious of the fact that there are places where they can't go and not sure exactly what's going on, and that arouses suspicion in people.
I guess purely by a textual definition, it is kind of secret. We don't talk about it openly, but that's because it is sacred, and we don't talk about sacred things in a flippant way. You know, in this country, if you want to be a doctor when you grow up, you can be a doctor. You just have to go to medical school, right? If you want to become an attorney, you're more than welcome to become an attorney. You just have to go to law school and pass the bar, right? So in a similar fashion, we want everybody to come to the temple. We want everybody to know what goes on in the temple. We really do. But in order to really understand it for what it is, you have to be prepared.
So when I went on my mission, I was 21.
A mission is a service opportunity for particularly young adults to go out into the world and to proclaim our message.
And the training center was really close to a temple, so my companion and I, we always made sure we went every week. So we got to go to the temple a lot. And then I went to Switzerland, and the temple was closed, so there was no temple within our mission. So for a year and a half, I didn't have a chance to go to the temple. And I remember being really, really excited when I got home to go to the temple, and I just remember feeling, when I was sitting there after it had been a year and a half, I remember thinking, just having that overwhelming feeling that I was home. I was home, not that I was home for my mission, but that I was home, and I was in a place that I belonged and I had been missing.
We benefit from having a temple very nearby us here in Oakland, but nonetheless, in our busy daily lives, it's very difficult to find time to go. It's a problem of faith and believing that, you know, the learning that can take place in the temple far outweighs maybe what we're giving up by going there.
I know that whenever I'm praying hard for something, or I'm really trying to settle my thoughts on a specific matter, when I go to the temple, it always happens. I just always feel very close to the Lord.
Like I said before, the temple is the ultimate symbol of our faith here on this earth. And for me, that means because of the temple and what goes on inside of the temple, and as a result of the atonement of Jesus Christ, I know that my family is eternal. And that's kind of the way I view the things that happen in the temple. It kind of comes back to this principle of family. It's all about family. And
it has solidified my belief and my faith that God knows who I am, and that He is aware of me personally, and that He loves me, and He loves all His children, and He is so willing to bless us with many, many, many things.
So when you go into the temple, you're going into a special, special place.